Something intriguing is happening in the global AI hardware race. For the last few years, the focus has been on one thing, chips and particularly Nvidia GPUs. But the center of focus is gradually shifting. Hyperscalers are no longer just buying processors. They're also now building entire AI factories, massive clusters that combine compute, networking, and custom silicon. And of course, one company is moving consistently into the middle of that shift. And the name of the company is Broadcom. And helping us to understand what is going on, as always, we have Sanjana Gupta, our tech journalist, who has written a very elaborate article on this, covering this in the Analytics India magazine. And she's joining us today front and center to let us know how the future is looking. Welcome to FrontPage, Sanjana.
Thank you so much. Always a pleasure being here.
It's fabulous to have you with us again.
Thank
so
you.
let's start with this. Want to understand this, Sanjana. Do you feel that the competition is now shifting or is starting to shift maybe from just selling, let's say, just GPUs? So now maybe instead it is about selling the entire AI infrastructure.
I would say definitely, yeah. When we look at AI infrastructure, more about the entire AI, rack. When we look at it as a whole, every layer of that, we can definitely see a shift from just chip providers or chip makers to full rack scale solution providers. And I think that's something that's changing across industries one by one. And even as Broadcom, you mentioned, talked about in the recent earnings call, the CEO stressed upon how the semiconductor revenue for the company increased 106% year on year, which is that's a lot of increase compared to last year. So when we look at it, the entire semiconductor supply chain is not just limited to like one chip. People are moving on to providing, software, networking, and all sorts of solutions in the rack one by one. And that also comes because of the demand and scaling, because it's very difficult, as we discussed last time in the Huawei talk as well. Scaling is what becomes an issue. And scaling, essentially scaling your architecture for AI is the major problem, which is why major providers are turning to rack scale solutions rather than just chips.
No, fair call. Which of course which brings me to the question, which is like Google, Meta, OpenAI, right? Now they are of course designing their accelerators, and Broadcom is playing a very crucial role in helping them build the systems, right? So obviously the thought behind it is, and correct me if I'm wrong, if that will reduce the dependency on Nvidia GPUs.
I would say that's a possibility in the larger sense of the word, but at the moment, Nvidia still remains as one of the biggest providers of chip solutions in the world. But definitely, as you see this trend sort of shaping the industry, you can see the world is moving on from just chips to rack scale. And if a company is able to provide rack scale solutions as compared to just chip solutions or just GPUs, then that definitely does make a difference. And that's happening at every layer, as I mentioned, even in the networking and so and so. Even in the recent Nvidia earnings call, Jensen had mentioned about their revenue that comes from cloud providers and hyperscalers. And they mentioned that, interestingly, the top 5 cloud providers and hyperscalers are amounting to 50% of their data center revenue that comes for the company.
So that's a big chunk of the pie.
And that has increased just in this year, which has been 3 months now, by $120 billion. So I think amounting up to $700 billion now. So that's a great increase you can see. So I wouldn't say the company is going to, get overpowered by TPU providers essentially, but definitely that's a trend if everybody gets into it, when a customer is getting somebody to provide solutions and help them build chips in-house.
Also, why I asked you that, Sanjana, it's simple because dependency on a single source usually tends to come with its own wonderful little bag of problems. Pricing is a big one. You don't have any competitive pricing going on. There could be supply issues. There could be something which suddenly goes wrong and they just then you don't know what to do. So I'm just thinking from that point of view, maybe the thrust will be to kind of at least have a lesser dependency.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's always about building your own sustainable chain within yourselves than just depending on one player. And at the moment, everybody depends on TSMC for fabricating the chips, right? So they still remain at that end of the chain.
True.
So
So maybe yes, future moving forward, that would
maybe
be the case.
yeah,
Could be the
yeah.
case.
But currently, Nvidia still remains
Agree.
the
Fair
top
enough.
player.
Tomahawk switch is a very crucial component as far as the accelerators are concerned.
Right.
So I want to understand this. Here is a little stat for you. I know you enjoy stats. AI networking revenue grew 60%, which is year on year. So is networking becoming the real hurdle, or is it, for that matter, becoming the most valuable layer?
I would say it's becoming more important as we go forward. Definitely, as we discussed the World Mobile Congress last time,
Right.
you can see that networking has become a very essential layer, and telecom players are going towards full rack scale solutions, which is a very different shift from what we saw until last year. But definitely, I would say networking as an aspect is becoming more and more important going forward. And again, in the recent Nvidia calls, that was
Yeah.
seen very clearly, where the company mentioned that their revenue through networking was around $11 billion just for that quarter.
Wow.
So the fact that they're announcing a separate networking revenue and delving into that aspect means that it's
That
becoming
means it is becoming
more
very
important
valuable,
going
and the
forward
fact that
and
it's
forward.
getting a worthy mention
Yes.
definitely makes sense now.
Yeah.
Okay, finally, I have to ask you this. Moving forward, do you feel that companies with the real influence will not be the ones who will build the models? I mean, of course, they will play a very crucial role, important role, although, but instead, the companies which actually help build the factories around those models.
I would say definitely yes, because now you see the world is changing from just LLMs or AI models to the entire aspect of what's powering these models. The entire chips or the energy that's powering the training, the inferencing for all these LLMs. So definitely we have kind of moved on from the LLM or just
What
AI
kind of a
providers
timeline do you see for this, though?
stage. I would say that we had, AI kind of a shift or a breakthrough with ChatGPT in 2022.
Yep.
We are currently in a big AI agentic kind of a stage where we're discussing, implementing agents into all levels of our life and even in enterprises. And now is the time to focus on the physical AI aspect of solutions, which is not just like humanoids or robots, but
True,
also the chips that are powering your AI or even
Yeah,
AI
because, I mean, if
agents for
that
the
is
sake
in
of
there,
it.
then the
Exactly.
scaling becomes.
So, and now that the AI is growing so much, you have to upgrade the chips
yeah.
to support that kind of architecture. That's where we're at. But to answer your question, I think definitely the change is happening in those terms. Like it's not just about AI providers, but also about these companies that are providing AI factories or solutions for these providers. Also, that is another thing you could see in the Broadcom earnings. They had sort of list down all the companies that you mentioned that they're helping with their in-house silicon solutions, custom
They
solutions.
also mentioned Anthropic as
So,
well, if I'm.
Yes. So they mentioned about how their Anthropic is apparently on a very steady and very good note, as the CEO had said, with their 1 gigawatt capacity for their TPU solutions. And I think going forward by 2027, they are aiming for 3 gigawatts, which is triple what they are heading on now.
As of now.
Even for OpenAI, they discussed, so there had been talks about how OpenAI is building in-house chips, and I guess this would be an interesting turn to see that Broadcom mentioned that they're helping OpenAI build through their what they call the XPU solution, build 1 gigawatt capacity in-house. And I think that's what they're aiming for 2027 with OpenAI. Even other companies, Meta, Google, even for Google, they said we're on a very steady route right now with what they're building. So I guess you can see that these are working together to sort of bring out what
And that's
the
where I
players
think
can
it's
do.
heading towards. It is the
Definitely.
influence will be held with the companies which are helping build the factories.
Yes, and definitely Nvidia is a part of it. Nvidia is itself building the concept
It's
of
the
AI
champion
factories.
right now, right.
But yeah, I think the entry of these players like Broadcom will really bring about a shift because they're not
And I
just
think
providing
it's
like
important.
GPUs,
I
right?
honestly feel it's important, Sanjana,
Definitely,
for
yeah.
other players to come in
Yeah.
to at least make the entire playing field, level it out a little more.
Definitely, yeah. And they come in with different, what do you call it? Like set of innovations or
Correct.
like, strengths, you can
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
So that makes a difference because, Broadcom handles the TPU market and GPU is handled by Nvidia. So that varied skill set is what brings in a good advantage for the industry as well.
No, makes sense. And I think that's what probably Mr. Wong has seen. And I feel people are getting a little tired of the tax.
I
And
mean,
hence he's seen that it's not only just hardware any longer. Hence he's now starting to shift towards the software aspect of things. And
yeah, I mean, for Nvidia, it's also about the varied things that they do. It's not just Nvidia is not just about GPUs or just about the one or two or three types of
yes,
solutions
yes.
they might be providing. They are present in all different, I wouldn't say layers of the rack, but wherever the rack is present, which is like robotics or like quantum or like, so they're present everywhere. So I guess for them, it makes sense to sort of delve into so and so applications.
It's important because I mean,
and it's
if
very
they
important.
cannot be a one-trick pony because
Yes,
eventually that is
exactly.
something which is
But
going
GPU still remains like a
I
bigger
agree.
and much larger part
For
of
sure,
the
I
company.
agree.
Definitely,
For sure, I
GPUs, supercomputers, and the just
And of course,
entire chip
GTC
design aspect.
2026 is right around the corner
Yes,
as well.
definitely.
So I guess we're going to see a lot of things maybe coming to fore there.
Yeah, yeah.
In terms of how
And
things will be.
I'm really looking forward. I think one thing that I saw interesting in the past, I think, few weeks was a little bit mention of Nvidia delving into the hardware for data centers in space.
Yes.
And I think that's an update that I'm looking forward to personally. It excites me, and let's see how GTC goes.
Nemo Claw, we did a story on
Yes,
FrontPage.
yes,
They're
definitely.
entering into AI agents as well. So
Yes.
I guess, yes, I mean, that is the right strategy.
Yeah, yeah.
And Mr. Huang is an extremely sharp, brilliant human being. So he's understood where this is kind of going, and hardware is not always going to be the only solution.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's always going to
logical.
be, but not the only one.
Fair.
But definitely, yeah, hardware is always going to be an important part of the layer because that's what powering your software.
Agreed. Agreed. Fair enough, Sanjana. As always, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for
Wonderful.
joining us on FrontPage and
Thank
giving
you.
us such interesting insights. And all the power to you and to all of your articles, which will be forthcoming.
Thank you. Same to you.
Thanks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Sanjana, and of course, with her brilliant insights as always. Please follow her on the Analytics India magazine. She puts out some fabulous articles on deep tech, space tech, robotics, and whatnot. And here, as tradition, as always, is the front page take. The AI race is often described as a battle of models and algorithms, but the real contest may be happening way deeper in the stack, as just discussed with Sanjana. So as hyperscalers design their own chips and build massive AI clusters, the companies that control the infrastructure, the factories of AI, may end up shaping the entire economy built on top of it. This, ladies and gentlemen, is front page on the AIM network. Like, share, subscribe, and always remember, think AI, think AIM.